guys are here to see birds, right?
Right.
I thought it was a discussion of the Georgia heat, and it should be going away. I like that idea a lot. Anyways, no, we are here to see some birds. We are here to see some free-flighted birds. These birds that we are going to see are not tied or tethered in any form or fashion. They are free to go about wherever they feel like it, including right over, the trees, the perches, across the lakes, right over the tops of your heads. Yeah, so my one warning to you this morning is you might have to dodge and duck. You guys are taking me way too seriously. I promise you don't have to run for it. Not yet.
I probably would.
You what?
I probably would.
You probably run for it? So keep your eye on this one. When the birds fly over, she's going to be running. It'll be entertainment for all of us. It'll be great. No, I promise you don't have to run for it. Just move out of their way. I promise that one warning, the rest of it comes from the birds. Yeah, they will let you know to, I'm coming, hi. So, anyways, as you are bird watching, it's always the best idea to keep your eye on the bird. Not always the best idea to look up and say, wow. You guys still asleep? Need some more coffee? House training you can't do for birds, not really. In order for them to fly, they need to get rid of all the pieces and parts they don't need. So they've got hollow bones, they've got hollow feather shafts. They also don't have bladders. How many wore hats? How many want to steal something from somebody else? Yeah, hats are always a great call at a bird show. Anyways, just as they are flying over the tops of your head, they will fly close to you. Please at no time reach up, try to wave at them. Pet them, poke them, hug them, love them, kiss them, grab them, squeeze them, tickle them. That's a bad idea. The word raptor literally translated means to seize and carry off. You guys like your fingers on rather than off, right? Just keep them down. There'll be times I'll ask questions during the show. It's fine to raise your hand in response. Just check your airspace. Make sure you're not going to knock a bird in your buddy's lap. Might be a bad day. Might not get a ride home. Anybody brought their beloved family pets to the predatory bird show? You guys laugh, but that's like bait. That's mean. They are not safe here. Any dogs, cats, ferrets, pocket mice, little squeaky fuzzy bunny rabbits, ferrets on a string. Not fun. It's fun for us to watch. It's nature in action. But not fun for your pets. They really don't like to live up at the top of the tree, and trying to get them down and convince the bird to bring them back down is well near impossible. So just don't have them here. Take them back to the Discovery Center. Also little souvenirs. We like them. They're fun. They're a little fuzzy and cute. They're kind of confusing to our birds. They really don't know what something is until after they've touched it with their foot. So just kind of hide it, stick it in a handbag, put it under the bench, give it to somebody who's mean to you today, woke you up too early. That'll work. Just keep it out of sight of the birds. Let's see, this center alleyway is probably one of our most important. We use this a lot like a raptor runway, running from the perch behind me all the way to those upside down posts in the back. So just don't be in it. And if you guys are sitting on the inside rows, just keep your arms, knees, elbows, cameras, toes, all your wiggling back and forth inside the amphitheater, and leave the center alleyway free for the birds. Do that, we won't be able to fly the birds back there for the rest of them to see. Gotcha. So if you need to get up, find shade, wiggle, giggle, just use the side aisles. I know we've now put up some ropes to hopefully keep the moving back and forth down to a minimum. So if you need to move it up, just move it around the island. You'll be fine. We'll try to keep this as we're melting, kind of brief and short, but see some birds. Sound good? You guys want to see some birds? This first bird we are going to take a look at is the most common hawk we have here in North America. So common, I'm not going to really tell you what he is, but I'll give you a couple clues though. He's a hawk and he has a red tail. Yeah, scientists are very original when they name their birds. This is Tilden, and he is our beautiful red-tailed hawk. Now before he is a red tail, he is a bird of prey. And in order to be a bird of prey, you need a few special features. First of all, if you take a look at his toes, what do you notice about him? He's got like little ice picks on the end of them. He's got long, sharp, powerful claws on the end of his toes called talons. This is used to catch and kill his food with. This, together with his hooked and curved beak, act a lot like his knife and fork. The beak used for ripping and tearing. The third thing all these guys have in common is their diet. They all eat strictly meat. Things like mice, rats, lizards, squirrels, small children, rabbits, and other birds. How small? You guys are okay with small children. Checking on the size. No, he doesn't eat small children. He actually prefers teenagers instead. Yeah, they run fast, they scream a lot. It's more entertainment for everybody. No, they don't eat small teenagers either. What these guys really like are mice and rats and snakes. And most of the time you don't see the hawks hanging out on the ground. You see them high up in the sky. From that vantage point, they can literally look down and tell you what color your eyes are from soaring away in the sky. You thought I was kidding about the dodging and ducking.
Yeah.
Nope, that's my entertainment. Sitting up in the tall tree, he can actually look out across the lake and see an insect moving around in one of those branches over there. Wow. Much better vision than we do. See 8 to 10 times better. They can see in more colors. They can see in the UV spectrum, which is handy if you guys eat mice. Anybody eat mice? There's always a boy, but hey, we got a girl today too. Bonus. Nah, they love the mice too. When mice walk around and they pee, they leave behind a little ultraviolet path. What it tells their little mouse buddies is, hey, this is where you find your food. This is where you find your house. What they didn't realize is this is also telling the hawk, this is where you find your dinner. I think it's pretty handy. Now, the neatest part of their vision, I believe, is they see much faster than we do. And it's hard to describe how something will see faster than something else. Television is a great example. You guys watch TV or the movies? A few of you do. It's really set up for our viewing pleasure. Television is set about 30 to 40 visual events per second. We only see our world in about 20, a little bit slower than TV. So it looks like that continuing moving picture. We are generally thoroughly entertained with this. Tilden, though, if he were to sit down, prop up his little birdie feet, he'd be bored, because what he would see is a slideshow instead. He sees his world in 80 frames per second, 4 times faster than we can. So the television to him would look like a slideshow. You can see that still picture, a blank space, a still picture, and a blank space. He can register all that time in between. Now, the fun part is can any of you catch your food with your feet? Yeah, that's why he has to see his world that fast, because nothing really, you don't see the mice and the squirrels. A little bit of breeze for you guys. You don't see them. Okay, you dropped it. Come back up here, bud. You see somebody don't have anything up there right now. Okay, fine. We'll go up to the park. We'll go to it. You're not a yard chicken. You guys have heard of chicken hawks before, right? Foghorn Leghorn chicken hawk. Well, there's actually no such thing. If there was, there you go. They've been given that nasty nickname because they're found a lot hanging around chicken coops. And it's not so much the chickens they're after. How much do you think this bird weighs?
10 pounds.
2.
Keep going lower. He weighs about 1.5 pounds.
Wow.
He looks like he weighs, oh, little one out of the aisle. They travel up and down it without being called, so just please don't be in there. Oh, goodness. One of the reasons why we had Tilden is because he had that nasty nickname of a chicken hawk, and he was actually shot here in Georgia and left for dead outside of Farmer's Field. I know, it's sad. You see his left wing, it droops a little bit more than his right. He's not strong enough to be able to survive out in the wild, to be that top red-tailed hawk, to catch the squirrels, the mice, and all that out there. But he is strong enough to be able to come out here, teach you guys a little bit about these birds and how important they are in our environment. How many of you guys like mice? The one that eats mice. Bonus. Of course you would like mice. Yes, mice are cute, they're fuzzy, they squeak. I mean, you got to give them a little bit of credit here. But the thing is these guys out there, they have to catch their food with their toes. They're not looking for the strong, healthy strapping mouse. They want the sick, the diseased, the wounded. They're not so quite right mice. And what that does for us is actually builds healthier mouse populations. Isn't that great? Now, the healthy mice are what we want out there in the world because we are mammals just like mice are. Any diseases that those mice can catch, we can actually catch for them. So having these guys out there taking those sick and diseased ones out of the world, it builds a healthier population for us as well. Now, Tilden's getting a little warm. We're going to go ahead and send him on home. You enjoyed meeting you, Red Tail? Yeah. You can go home now? They love me. Oh, we're going to go find shade in the trees. So, of course, when he goes home and props up his little birdie feet, there is always another bird that comes out at nighttime. You know what that is, right?
Owl.
Who?
Owl.
Who?
Owl.
I never get bored with that. It's just so much fun. It is an owl. We're going to meet the largest owl we have here in the southeast, the third largest owl we have here in North America. Pound for pound, these guys are tough, mighty predators. Here she comes. This is Juniper. And Juniper is a great horned owl. Now, great horns are known for those beautiful tufts of feathers on top of their head, kind of give them that horned look. These guys, though, are tough predators. A nesting pair of great horns have been known to run a nesting pair of bald eagles off the nest, eat their young, and take over that real estate. Yeah, these are birds you don't want to mess with. They are one of the first birds. Please stay out of the center alleyway. Very important. She flies like a battering ram. Yes, very, very important. Oh, these guys, the first things we really identify as children is we learn about these guys. And the first thing we really notice about them is their eyeballs. They've got some gigantuous eyes. I love that word, it's fun. Whether it's real or not. Their eyes literally take up half the space in their head. And they're not round like you might think. They're actually shaped more like mushrooms or light bulbs. And what you're actually seeing is the small part. The rest of it balloons out into the back of her head. Now there lies a problem. If you've got these very large, oversized, mushroom-shaped eyes, you can't move them around. You can't move them up and down or side to side. They're fixed face forward in her sockets. So owls, of course, have another trick to overcome their not being able to move their eyeballs around. You know what they can do instead? They can put their heads on backwards. Yes, they can. They can turn it about 270 degrees, about 3/4 of an hour. It's like turn your head to the right, keep going until it literally lands on your other shoulder. What allows them to do this is they have twice as many neck bones as you and I do. You and I only have 7 cervical vertebrae that hold up our big old heads. This little football-shaped bird, she's got 14. Twice as many as we do. For fun, what's the longest neck creature you guys can think of?
Giraffe.
Giraffes. Secret about giraffes? They too only have 7 neck bones just like we do. So given a really fun logic here, Juniper has twice the neck of a giraffe. She does. It's just squashed a lot. Not only is her neck squashed, her face looks kind of flat. She ran into a tree, wasn't looking where she was going. Promise it wasn't that. Her face is actually shaped like a satellite dish. That dark ring of feathers is the edge of that satellite dish, her facial disc. All owls have that dark ring of feathers. And that is where owls keep their ears. These little tufts of feathers, they're not our ears. They're just fancy little tufts of feathers. Used a lot for communication as well as camouflage. Juniper in the tall tree up there, something spooks her. She can screech real tall, flip those ear tufts up, and it literally breaks up the silhouette of that bird, making her less likely to become dinner. I think it's pretty handy. Now her ears are on her face, and no wonder she hides them behind all the feathers. It's because they're crooked. Yeah, she's got one up here and one down here. One points up, one points down. One can hear about 1/30th of a second faster than the other side of her head. One can even hear an entirely different frequency. Put it all together, you just met the bird you can't keep secrets from. She can hear it all. She really can. Now there is a really fun experiment. You guys like experiments? Yes. You can go home and hear your world like owls hear theirs. Prerequisite though, and I encourage you, raise your hands with pride. How many use toilet paper? Almost half. Beautiful. Okay. Thank you, front row, though. I appreciate that. Take your old toilet paper tube, stick them up to your head, point one way up, point one way down, walk out into your backyard. You get a great idea of the surround sound that these birds hear their world in every day. Best part is your family is going to laugh hysterically at you. And that's the whole point, the whole goal, make them laugh. Now, great horns, they have their favorite food in the entire world. They're generalists. They will generally eat anything smaller than themselves. I think that's pretty handy. Some of the stuff that she does like to eat is kind of unusual. She likes to eat armadillos, raccoons, porcupines. How do you wrap your feet around that? I don't know. One of her favorite midnight snacks, though, is the skunk. Yeah. Skunks. What do we know about skunks?
They stink.
Yeah, they look cute. They smell beautiful, right? Yes, they do smell pretty bad. Brings me to her next sense, her sense of smell. She doesn't have one, which is, I believe, quite handy if you're going to be chowing down on little stinky skunks out in the world. How many have heard you can't put the baby back, the mother will smell you and you can't, don't touch it, it'll smell you and you won't come back to take care of it. Most birds out there in the world don't have a sense of smell, not at all. So having these out there is handy. Juniper, you can go home whenever you're ready, sweet pea. Whenever you're ready, Tara. Yes, we all heard that, especially in the springtime, as the babies are learning to fly, they're not ripping on the branches quite as well as we think they might should. So they fall out a lot, and we like to be good mother natures. We like to put them back, but then we like to go back and check on them again. It's not our smell that keeps the mother birds away. It's actually our presence. So I encourage you, if you do find one, by all means, put it back if you can. If the nest is too high or you've fallen down, broken up, put them in an old Easter basket. Works well. Hang them in a tree. but then just walk away and let Mother Nature mother herself. She's been doing it a long time and she does really well at that. Now we're going to meet another type of owl. This one's actually a specialist in the bird world, Juniper being a generalist. This one actually lives in a riparian habitat. And you think, what in the world is that? Behind me is a great example of what a riparian habitat is. Somewhere with low-lying water and lots of trees. Because that's where this bird's favorite foods like to live. He likes the slimy, slippery stuff. This here is Willow, and Willow is a barred owl, known for those beautiful brown bars that run across his chest and down his belly. Yeah, again, scientists are very original. But he likes the snakes, the salamanders, even crayfish. Wild barred owls have been known to eat so many crayfish that they get pink belly feathers. Pretty cool. So if you ever go out and see a wild pink owl out there, I promise you don't have to run to your eye doctor. It's probably a barred owl. Now Willow, if we can get him turned around, face the other direction, he is going to demonstrate one of the things that sets owls apart from your other birds. Not ready straight this morning? Come over here for a second. Come over here. And we'll go back over here. He's a little special. Willow actually came, all our birds are kind of like the Island of Misfit Toys. We're the Island of Misfit Birds. Willow's story is he was actually confiscated from a rehabilitation center that was closed down. And he was not able to fly because he had curly feathers. Poor nutrition led to that. We're not sure his entire history, but we are happy that he is out here. He gets to fly in front of us and play and get to learn about these guys. Now, you guys want to do another fun experiment? I promise you don't have to raise your hand. Everybody look at Willow. Now close your eyes. I promise it's safe. Now listen. Now look at Willow. She's up here, by the way.
Oh.
Cool.
Wow.
Owls come with little mini mufflers that help silence their flight. They've got feathers all the way down to their beaks, all the way down to their talons. They got little fringes on the outside edge of all the rest of their feathers that as they flap their wings, it breaks the wind into tiny swirls, making them very quiet, very stealthy as they fly. So, can you imagine the rabbit with the big old ears think he can hear it all? Yeah, and then poof, your dinner. Not. You've met the great horned owl, or even the barred owl. But you may notice that Juniper, she had those little tufts of feathers on the top of her head. Willow doesn't have those little tufts of feathers. Not all owls have them. They don't use them for hearing as well. Now, what's fun about these guys is we like to create stories. There's lots of myths and legends about these guys because we like to make things up about things we really don't know a whole lot about. One of my favorite legends is an old Cajun legend that if you hear the soft hooting of an owl at night and you want to save your family from certain death, you must go to the last pair of shoes you wore and turn the left one over. Why, I don't know, but they still do it, so it must work. One I really like is if you've got an owl on top of your house at night bothering you and you still want to save your family from certain death, you've got to go and chase that owl into a tree, run around and round and around that tree, and his head will follow you and literally till it pops off. Yeah, that's kind of silly. You know, 3/4 of a turn is kind of max. They can only turn their head full 360 once in real life. Think about it. Yeah. If you want to keep turning your head back and forth, you got to stop at some point. So, let's save all the owls from the heads popping off everywhere, and just kind of recreate some new fun legends would be great. Willow has done a great job. We're going to go ahead and send him on home. Okay, water break for just a second. I'm out. But these guys here, they don't have those problems, but places in other parts of the world, they do. They really have those type of problems because of medicines that we put in our own bodies as well as their animals. How many of you have heard of the Tibetan culture and sky burials? Anybody heard of sky burials before? A couple people have. That is actually a beautiful thing. In Tibet, their ground is too rocky. They can't bury their dead that have died. And there's not enough trees, so they can't cremate them. So what do? What they do is the last act of kindness they can think of and offer it up to the vultures. They believe the vultures carry the soul up to heaven. And that also helps clean up anything that might cause disease if it just sits around and rots away. But the problem is they get arthritis just like we do, and they take steroid-type drugs that help relieve some of that arthritis. And these guys, they literally could sit down to diseases that we wouldn't even be able to touch without getting sick. But their numbers were declining. They were like, why? Why in the world? It was those medicines that they were putting in their own body that was causing the decline of these birds. They've actually lost 99% of their vulture population since 1990. Sad, because now they're getting a lot of sicknesses and diseases that they wouldn't have had before. So, as you see these guys out on the roadway, just kind of slow down for them. Even better, give them a silent thanks. And thanks for doing your job. Every animal out there in the world has a job that they do best. These guys are nature's cleanup crew. Most people don't get to thank the vultures because, well, they're just creepy looking. But they actually do a job that benefits us out there. We thank our soldiers, we thank our EMS crews and public safety, we thank our teachers. Have we ever thanked our nature's critters for doing the job they do best? Every animal out there has a job that they do, and they do it best and only they can do it. So definitely give them a silent thanks. Thanks for doing your job, especially this weekend for the vultures. Slow down, look at them, they are beautiful. Little things we do in our own everyday worlds makes a huge difference, not only for us, but for these guys here. Turn the water off when you brush your teeth, take a shower and settle the bath. Reuse your old Walmart bags, put your lunch in them, put your trash in them. Simple things like that. It doesn't take a whole lot you can do in your own backyard to make a huge difference. Now, in celebration of the International Vulture Awareness Weekend, we actually have a raffle back here. It's a vulture type raffle. Go check it out by all means. All proceeds go to help care and feed these guys as well as their training. So check it out. Enjoy the rest of your day at Callaway. If you have any questions or comments, I'll be up here for a little bit longer. How do you guys like vultures now? Are they great? They are fun. So run, play, go be free. If you have any questions, I'll be up here. If not, have a fantastic afternoon. Thank you for coming.